My name is Colin Hill, and I am a broadcast journalist. You can see that I'm here in my natural habitat, and the whole reason I came to Columbia was to learn about the radio. I love going on the air each week, I love breaking the news, and being a part of the newsroom culture. It's become a part of who I am. I was asked today to present something visual, and this was challenging because everything I've learned here at Columbia and everything I do most days of the week is audio related. My passion is for radio, but if a deaf person is unable to enjoy what I do, that isn't fair for both of us. I now know better than ever that hearing is a privilege. If a deaf person said that they wanted to study radio here at Columbia, I don't know that they could do some of the classwork. And if I lost my hearing tomorrow, I think I would lose any hope of graduating in my major. And the path of my life would change completely. I wish to write an audio essay about what I've learned by studying deaf culture, something that would be worth playing on the air. But then I realized that I wasn't sure how accessible radio is to the deaf. So let me back up. I decided to study deaf culture because I wanted to learn something that was radically unlike anything I'd studied before. When you're a journalist, you never know what you'll be writing about tomorrow, and learning about lots of different things can come in handy. Early in the semester, I asked our teacher, Crom, to give an interview to our radio station here. It was really nice of him to give me that interview, and it meant a lot to me. But I also wanted to use the radio to give voice to deaf issues, even though the radio can't be used to communicate in sign language. And I know that if I started tomorrow, I could devote my whole career to reporting just on deaf issues, even for a radio station. It's easy to say that radio is obviously a hearing person's medium, that it's not as flexible as video or the internet, but I don't think so. It's only recently, but there's been some development in closed captioning for radio. This is important because in times of emergency, sometimes the only electronics still working are radios, but there's also no reason why deaf people shouldn't get to be fans of car talk. Plus, text-to-speech software like Siri is getting a lot of attention these days. But in the future, the other way around, speech-to-text will get better too. And there are deaf journalists out there too, and a long history of them. So if I did lose my hearing tomorrow, I'd hardly be the only one out there. So when I decided how I would do this project, I needed a way to put it online. The tool I usually use for this is a really cool site called SoundCloud. It's kind of like YouTube, but for audio. But unlike YouTube, SoundCloud has no provision for closed captioning. And yeah, you probably won't find many deaf people using something called SoundCloud, but that doesn't mean those of us who work with audio every day should be silent if we have poor accessibility. Now I'll read an email that I sent this morning. Dear SoundCloud, I am a journalist who uses SoundCloud to publish my reporting. However, I'm concerned that it will not be accessible to deaf or hard of hearing individuals. Is there currently any way to use closed captioning with SoundCloud tracks? Or are there any plans to implement captions in the future? Please look into it. My best,